From County College of Morris, this is CCM All Access.
Hello, and welcome to CCM All Access, the program that brings you news and information from the County College of Morris. Students on campus, members of the community, people doing good things. I'm James Taylor, and joining us today is Dr. Aslihan Cakmak, who is the Dean of the School of Business, Mathematics, Engineering, and Technologies here at CCM. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's our pleasure. So, you're the Dean here at CCM.
Yes.
What brought you here?
Well, I have been working with CCM faculty and staff for a few years now on different projects in New Jersey while I was in my previous school. And I observed great things, and I just want to be part of the faculty world and CCM world and move along with you, because I have seen CCM putting signature on great things, great projects. And I think it was time for me to move up, so that was an opportunity, and I just joined.
Yeah, so you want to be part of the environment here?
I think I am. Look,
Yeah.
2.5 months, and you just
Definitely.
invited me to this, so I think I am part of it.
Did you always know you wanted to be a dean here, or were you kind of open to whatever?
Here or
Just
overall?
in general.
Okay, ultimately, I aim to pay it forward, meaning at some point I want to be a president of a university or college. And I started as a faculty. I love teaching, and I will always be faculty at heart, and I'm still teaching. But throughout my career, I realized I also love administrative work.
Okay.
And I started taking on responsibilities, helping the chair, and I found myself as the chair of a major department, actually 2 departments at my previous institution. And now I am the dean, and hopefully the trend will continue, and I will finally be a president at some point to make the most difference that I can make in the world,
Yeah.
as long as I live.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great goal. I mean, you always got to aim high.
Thank you. It's very hard. Like, as you can see, I am an immigrant, and it was not always the easiest road, but I'm grateful that I made it this far, and hopefully with the help of my colleagues here, my team here, and my friends along the way, I will be able to make it to the top.
I know you mentioned you're an immigrant. Do you mind sharing where?
Sure. I'm from Turkey, a beautiful country where Europe and Asia meets. It's called Eurasia. And I migrated to the US in 1993. I came here to get education, and I forgot to go back. So one thing led to another, and I just ended up staying here. This is my 30th year.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you ended up here. We're
Thank
very
you.
thankful to have you.
Yeah, you're kind.
When you're the dean, what kind of responsibilities do you have?
Well, currently in my role, I'm responsible from the overall operations and success of 6 departments,
Okay.
which include the faculty, students, staff, and myself. And basically what we do is very important. So my role can either break or make the school. I have great faculty members. I have great chair team, and my staff members, administrative assistants, they are amazing. So what we do is we have 6 departments.
Okay.
And out of these 6 departments, we bring success to the students. I am responsible from curriculum, quality, faculty development, staff development. We have additional projects that we work on, such as grants, bringing funnel more money to the college and bring our good name to the world, actually.
Okay.
And basically, my ultimate goal is to produce those amazing students. Each one of them is our business card to the world, so they can represent us, and then more people will come here.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible stuff. I mean, and you started recently, correct?
January 18.
Okay, so what was kind of like the transition? Like, it was easy, it was hard?
It is different because in my previous institution, I was there almost 5 years,
Okay.
4.5 years, and you become one with the institution that you work at.
Yeah.
So, and this is new. The role is new. The culture is totally different than my previous institution. So it's a learning process. I'm trying to understand, how this role that I hold works with the others. Certain things that apply to your previous experiences do not apply here.
Yeah.
Or there are certain things that are new and great, and you just want to learn and be part of it. But so far it's going very good.
Well, I'm glad it is.
People are very helpful.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and students are amazing.
Make it
And,
easy to come in and kind of adapt.
Yes, and we actually started holding, this is a shameless plug here, every month I'm holding a student session with my students.
Okay.
Actually, anybody who is a CCM student is invited, but I want to, it's called Cookies and Conversation for now, that's what we call it. We are trying to find a better name. If you have one, let me know. But I want to stay connected with our students and understand their experiences in the classroom. Have an open conversation about the expectations, their experiences. So we invite them every month. It's on the campus screens. So please join us when you are around.
Okay. So when you're going, I know you said your goal wasn't always to be a dean, but is there certain educational requirements that you have to meet to get an administrative role like this, or is it?
It depends on the school. But being a dean is part of being a president, because this is a road that you need to, I
Just
think
keep
at every
following
level,
up.
you learn many things. Like you gain different experiences, you develop as a person.
Okay.
Like I look at myself in the mirror, other than, facial changes. I see myself different than when I was 30 or when I was 20. Like this working in education actually helps you develop into a different role, and then you become a better person. With every role that I hold, I realize like I become a better person, and it helps me develop not into this role, but as a person, as Aslihan.
You're growing as you
Yes.
experience things.
So, and education, and it depends on the institution. I know some higher education institutions have higher education leaders that do not have doctoral degrees, or they require doctoral degrees. It's totally up to the institution. And but I just wanted to have I'm an education junkie. That's what my friends call me. I'm one of those, like, doing Sudokus and what have you, if I have like 3 minutes time. So I do love education. I do love learning new things, and the doctoral degree was something I have to have in order to move forward, or in my opinion, that's how I felt.
Okay.
So that's
So
how
you
I
have
got-
your doctorate.
I do have my
What was that like getting that?
Okay, that was that's a whole new program for you. I'm a single mom,
Okay.
and when I started my doctoral degree, I had this lively little thing with me, and so having my child and teaching at 3 different institutions, and full-time job and part-time jobs, and her, it was a challenge. I'm not gonna lie, but I loved every minute of it, because it made me a different person. It made me a better person, like with the patience and with the understanding, like constant. I don't know. Hopefully, one day you might experience the same process. But every time you get your dissertation back because you forgot to put a comma, or you forgot a point somewhere, it made you want to just slow down, take a step back, breathe. And like these were the things I was not able to do when I was like 25 or 30. And education, I love international business, so that was my goal. My goal was to actually be a full-blown academic, like write research papers and books and just teach and be with my students. But that's why my degree is in international business, not in education. when I realized like, oh, I love doing this side of the house. I love to work in the administrative area. I already was well into my program, so I didn't change my doctorate degree and just finished it.
That makes sense. So did you do all this education here in America, or did you do some of it in Turkey?
I did graduate from Istanbul University.
Okay.
When I originally, my degree is in economics.
Okay.
And I started my master's degree back home. And then I came here for a very quick exchange program. And then I went back home. And then I came back here again. And 2 of my degrees are from here. I have my master's from here in finance and general management. And my doctoral degree also from US.
Okay. So was there a big jump between the, good or bad, from the education in the colleges in Istanbul and the colleges you went to here to get your doctorate and master's?
Well, this is the experience of most immigrant students or most international students, especially from countries like Turkey, India, like that part of the world. Education is tough.
Yeah.
It was super tough. I was like I think I was in the 2nd grade. I could name all the mountains and the rivers and the lakes of any country in the world.
Wow.
So that was a tough education. But I really liked over there, it's basically the way we were taught is literally sage on the stage model. Like the teacher is God, and that's about it. Like you can't even ask questions. Like we were sitting in an amphitheater with 400 students, and the first thing the professor would say, there are so many of you, no questions. I'm just going to teach, and if you don't understand it, ask and find someone who already did.
So there was no room for open discussion?
Oh, no.
No, not at all?
No discussion. So when I came here, we always have the tendency to treat our professors that way. And then I observed American students, the way they interacted with the professors. Like, how is this happening? And then it hit me, okay, this is what needs to be done. And it was, again, culture change.
Yeah, like a culture shock.
I did adopt it. I think I did adopt it very well.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to that right after our break, okay?
Thank you.
Now we're going to take a break. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Choosing a college is a big, big, big deal. But I know I started right because CCM is in the top 2% of community colleges in the nation.
And at County College of Morris, I get to choose from over 100 programs. Whether you're just out of high school,
Like me.
exploring career options,
Like me.
or seeking lifelong learning,
Like me.
make CCM your choice.
Like me. Go big and visit ccm.edu and aspire to be you.
Welcome back to CCM All Access. I'm James Taylor, and we're here with Dr. Aslihan Cakmak.
Hello. Hello again.
Yeah, we're back. So we talked a lot about the education, you coming here from Turkey. You mentioned you were part of some boards.
Yes, I also believe in giving back to public, and I do serve on different boards. One of them, like the most interesting, is I serve on the board of Chinese School of South Jersey.
Okay.
It's interesting because I'm not Chinese, as you can see, but I have my daughter has been learning Mandarin since she was 6. And me being in education, I just became part of them, and they do great work. And it's our mission to serve the public in South Jersey, and they spread the Chinese traditions and the culture, and I just tag along. I also did NGO representation a few years ago. I did represent an organization called Light Millennium. They have been doing amazing work, and I served as their NGO representative to the United Nations. And I have found memories, and I believe we did great work with the chairperson of the organization. And I miss those days, but unfortunately, I am too far from New York City now, so we cannot go back. What else I do? I do serve on a few boards for education companies. Like Wiley has education consultant group, advisory board for certain topics that they get us together. I do serve in New Brunswick Public Schools, Board of Education. They have an advisory board. I serve with them. In my previous institution, we have a great organization we just started, Women Leaders Rising.
Okay.
And it's all about empowering our female students and making them come to the world as strong leaders.
Okay.
And I serve with them. And this is it for now, I think. I have a few more, I'm sure, but I don't remember, sorry.
Okay, so you're a part of a lot of things that help your community, help others.
Yes.
Okay. Then just to touch base on what you're talking about before, could you explain what an NGO rep is?
It's non-governmental organization representative. Basically, United Nations and the public, they speak through these organizations. So as an NGO representative, depending on the NGO that you represent, like you have your causes, you have your issues that you work on, right? Like women's rights, children's rights, education. So based on the sustainable goals that UN developed, so UN needs to tell the public this is what we are doing, and public needs to say you are not doing enough, or this is what we want you to do. So the NGOs actually are the agents between United Nations and the public.
Okay. Okay, that
And
makes sense.
we go to the assemblies, we go to the meetings, and then we write about them or talk to public, do presentations. Whatever the cause of that NGO that you belong to, we have public events and encourage public basically to help UN reach those goals that they developed.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, thank you for explaining that. I was a
Sure.
little bit lost, so.
That's the teacher.
Okay. And then with all these boards, do you do any volunteer work as well, or is it just?
I do. I do work with the immigrants.
Okay.
I mean, first it became, it's a natural thing. You're an immigrant, you help the others. But throughout the years, me being in education and having more experience, and the world being in the place that it is right now, and more immigrants coming from our part of the world to the U.S., I do support a few immigrant families and schools that deal with the immigrants. Especially, I help them with the education of their children.
Okay.
Because when you come, you are clueless. You have no idea. Some families, they don't even speak the language. So they need that support, and I am happy to provide that.
Okay. You seem like you love helping people out. It's a very admirable trait.
Thank you. I mean, it's like, that saying, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? That's my motto.
Okay.
And literally, like, if I don't do it, who is going to do it?
Would you say that you kind of live by that? That's how you kind of...
Yes, literally. Okay. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But sometimes it reads like I'm overstepping. But then, I am like, okay, I'm pulling back.
Really back in? Yeah.
But again, you need to do it. If you don't do it, who is going to do it?
Of course, yeah. Well, you mentioned to me earlier that you worked on Wall Street.
I worked after, the ultimate goal was to, like back in the day, again, this is 30 years ago, you graduate from your school back home, you go to the US, get a master's degree, and most of the time it's MBA, because that's what was popular back then. And then gain experience and come back to your home country. But my master's was, again, I had an MBA, and it was in finance, and I started working for this asset management company, and I was doing the fund analysis and creating mutual funds with the group. And but this is year 2000, end of 2001, 2, economy starts to steer off a little bit, and I just started teaching at an inner city school in New York City. And it's a college that served the underserved populations, we call them now.
Okay.
But I loved every second of it. And I go make money for other people, or go do something that means something to you and to the rest of the group.
Help others, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it was meant to happen. The financial crisis hit, and the company that I work with was like, okay, you know what, we are going back to our home country. Do you want to come? I said, no, we are not going. So that's when I transitioned full-time teaching, and I loved every minute of it since then.
Yeah. Would you say any of your experiences with working for that firm? Would you say any of the experiences kind of
yes.
helped you for what you do now?
Definitely, because you learn. I mean, I have more corporate experience in America before I fully transitioned to education. I did work for Goodwill. I did work for those big corporations, but every one of them did teach me a lot of things. Again, you're an immigrant. You are coming to a country. You don't speak the language. It's not your language. It's not your people. So you are trying to make a place for yourself. And there's a lot of pushback. There was. So you learn to grow out of it, and you learn to work with different personalities. You learn to improve your own weaknesses so that you can be more than you are at the moment, so you are not criticized, or you can just keep moving ahead. And like finances back then, actually it was a male dominant field, and you just need to learn how to survive in that environment and thrive. So each corporate experience that I had helped me build who I am today.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, every job that you hold, or every position that you hold, every classroom that I went into when I was teaching, I learned a lot from my students. Like I learned a lot of I learned a lot from my supervisors, like good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I have seen this movie before, not gonna happen again. Or like, oh, I remember so and so was doing this, so let's go with that. But yes.
So they all kind of get you ready for where you're at now.
Yes.
Okay. So just in general, when you see yourself every day working here, you see how those experiences have kind of shaped you, and they help you kind of
yes
do what you do here now.
Definitely. And now I have a big responsibility of all the people that I work with, my students, our faculty, our staff, and hundreds of different personalities and hundreds of different approaches to things. Like one event can create different reactions from so many people. So you need to, like, I learned how to navigate around people, how to do things, how to, like, there are cases like there is no black and white, or there's no right and wrong. Like everybody is right or everybody is wrong. So you learn to navigate around those, or you learn to work with the people and get the best outcome. You learn to help people understand, like, we don't always get what we want, but we can always work with what we have until we get what we want ultimately.
Yeah, make the best of it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it's good.
Yeah. So when you're like, I know you said you're kind of new to, this is your first dean position, correct?
Yes.
So when you're almost like learning as you go. Okay. Do you mind talking about how you kind of constructively take things that might not go well, or that you might do poorly, and then or things that you do well and want to keep doing those?
One thing about me is I take responsibility. Like, I learned this years ago, and also it's a character trait. Like, I don't blame people. Like, if something goes wrong, it's my responsibility, because I own, like, even if you and I are working together, you made a mistake, it's me, because I am your supervisor, and I should have taught you better, or I should have controlled you better. So, or same goes with, like, personal and professional life for me.
Okay.
So if something, and another good thing about me is I ask for help. Like, I learned that many years ago. I don't have any pride. I ask for help. Like, if I don't know something, I just go find the person who knows it, and I just get it done. Like, there is no pride in not knowing. So I rather go learn and then do, then just pretend like I know what I'm doing and then do it. Here, again, you have to ask a lot of questions because there are a lot of pieces that link at this level, but I don't know what those pieces are.
Yeah.
So every day something is coming out, like, oh, okay, I'm working with you too. All right, so how do I do this? How do we do? So it's all about 100% clear communication. So communication exists between parties, nothing that you cannot do.
Okay.
But I guess that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me and really making me part of your culture. I think this proves that I am one of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Have a great day.
This has been another edition of CCM All Access. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.